Now, I get recommended terminal emulators all of the time, but the one that always kept coming up is Ghostty. And to be frank, I don't never really saw a reason to use anything else other than what came stock, whether that be the GNOME terminal, terminal in Windows, or even the really ugly default one in Mac OS. They work perfect for just SSHing into some machine, running a couple quick commands, and that's about it. But then I was looking into a tool called Superfile. I uploaded that video rather recently. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's pretty cool. But to get the full functionality out of something like that, such as image previews, I needed to take advantage of the Kitty graphics protocol to render images in a compatible terminal. Ghostty supports that protocol, so that gave me an actual practical reason to stop ignoring the suggestions. The point is that Ghostty combines modern terminal compatibility with a fast GPU renderer, so your text will render quicker than you could ever type. Now, before we get into a little bit more of what Ghostty actually is, how to use it, how to configure it, some tips and tricks, because it's not perfect, we're going to get into today's sponsor, and that is Surfshark. Think about all the times that you connect to a public Wi-Fi, whether that be in the cafe, the airport, library, without thinking twice. Yes, it is convenient, but in many cases, public Wi-Fi is completely unsecure, and whoever runs and manages the network can see everything that you're doing. Depending on what protocols you're using, that gives them the opportunity to intercept data, passwords, whatever it may be, and that is why you should use a VPN such as Surfshark. It is the cybersecurity tool that you can easily use to secure your entire digital life, whether that be changing your virtual location, hiding your IP address, or plugging your config and all that into Gluten. It encrypts your data and makes your activity private. And Surfshark is more than a standard VPN, as it can protect your connection, your devices, and your personal information all in one place, including their very own ad blocker. Best of all, if you have an account that comes with unlimited devices, so you can protect your entire household. So stop leaving your digital footprint exposed and use Surfshark today. Check out the first link in the description. Use my promo code to get an exclusive deal. So try it today risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. And with all that, let's talk about Ghostty. And actually getting this is pretty easy. If you're on Mac OS, you can install it with Brew or download it directly. If you're on Arch, you could get it from Pacman. And if you're on Fedora, you do have to add a Kappa repository and then install Ghostty from there. And this right here is my actual little instance of Ghostty. I haven't configured it too much, and we'll get into all that. What we can do, we could type Ghostty with 2 Y's and version. And you can see right now I am rocking 1.3.1, and this is designed to work out of the box without actual user configuration, so you don't need to dive in and start changing things. You can use it just like you would any other generic terminal. You can see here some of the basic features. We have this little tab viewer, so if we have multiple tabs open, you could either navigate right here, or if you want a nice visual of everything you got going on, you can see it just like this. So if I click on this, you can see we can split up, down, left, right, and there are hotkeys or shortcut keys to go and do that. So Control Shift 0, for example, will split over here, and then I can easily manage the workflows and actually see the splits right there. So you could have a real complicated layout going on. Additionally, we have a command palette. So if you go Control Shift P, you can see all the things that you're able to do with Ghostty directly through here. So you kind of explore, see the hotkeys and everything to actually do everything. And of course, you could go ahead and search and easily grab the commands or things that you want to do within the terminal. Hit escape, get out of there. Additionally, if I head over here, we have more kind of basic settings, things you'd expect. We have a terminal inspector. So you could get details on your specific instance, your keyboard, events, terminal IO, the actual renderer. You get a lot of information through here, which is very nice, including the exact size. So for example, if I wanted this something specific and I just dragged, you could see it actually live updating there, which is kind of nice. Obviously I could see it right there, but this will give me the actual kind of size in pixels. It's a handy tool to have. If you don't have a tab open, you could create one right there, so you don't have to go to the menu or use the hotkey. And you could actually split through right here, which really just kind of saves you a click. But really the fun where you're going to spend some time is the configuration, because while you can use this in its kind of default form here, you have more fun when you configure it, and you're going to need to set like some of the awesome fonts if you want to use certain tools. But if I do recall, my config is in .config in my home directory under Ghostty, and you can see I just have a simple config.ghostty file. So if I jump into Nano, arguably the best text editor on Linux, you can see I have a really simple configuration here. I'm using a specific nerd font because I wanted all the features within Superfile to work, and my font size is 16 because I just like everything a little bit bigger. Here is where you can define some other things. For example, if I wanted to go ahead and change my background opacity, you could do that. So I want that to equal to maybe 0.95. Oh, not 5, 95. And let's go ahead and close this out. Open up Ghostty once again. You can see it's kind of hard to see because it's just barely, but it is translucent there. Jumping back into the config, you can also set your themes directly in here. So let's talk about themes. We do have some built-in themes. So I'm going to open up this right here so we can kind of browse their documentation. We could see all the themes with a Ghostty theme list command, which actually let's go ahead and list the themes. So if I run this theme list command, ooh, will you look at that? And then use the arrows to just kind of go through here, and then you can pick whatever one looks best to you. For example, I really like this one, Birds of Paradise. Theme equals Birds of Paradise. Just like that, and if we output that, get out of there. There we go. That's clean. So it's really easy to change the configuration. Granted, you don't have a nice little GUI to go ahead and you can't just select through that tool, which would be cool, but it's pretty easy. And as we can see here, it's also pretty easy to make your own themes. So you could create a new file with all these custom options. So you could set the background, foreground, background image, which is a big one I see a lot of people doing. I have no interest in that. But on here within the configuration under the option reference, there is an absolutely comical amount of configurations and things you can actually change and modify to your specific preferences. Actually, there's so much here. I'm just going to spend some time and configure everything to my heart's content. All right, we are back, and what I did here is actually let's nano into this config. I added quite a bit and a bunch of notes and stuff too. So when you go to the actual guide or article associated with this video, you're going to be able to get everything that you need, or at least a really good starting point for the configuration so it's not just sitting there blank. So for me, I am using the nerd font. I already talked about the font size and all that. Right now we're using the Birds of Paradise theme, and we have the background opacity, but here is where we have some more options that I thought was worth adding. First of all, background blur, for example, we could set that to true, and then maybe even lower this a bit since there's going to be a little bit of blur. So now we'll have a nice little effect with that. I don't want any contrast. And right here, I'm actually having difficulty getting these cursor styles to work, at least in my environment. If I go ahead and exit out here and do Control-Shift-R to reload the configuration, you can see that we have some slight differences in the background. So if I bring this forward, you can see what that looks like there. But you can see when I don't select it, the cursor shows up right, but when it's actually selected, it's a line. So I don't know what's going on there. If you know, please do inform me of my mistakes. I want to use the block hollow. I mean, it's working here on Nano. This is exactly what I was looking for. And blink, right now it's set to false. And we could set that to true if we wanted to. So if I went out of here and then reloaded it, and then jumped back in, you can see we got some blink in action there. So at least it's working over here. And then we got some padding. Now, I really like this setting personally for kind of what I do because I end up recording my terminal a lot. So it gives a little bit of space right here. So when I zoom in on the terminal, it looks a little bit more like this instead of like this. Very nice. Padding balance, decoration. And again, you go into the documentation to really get some details on all of this stuff here. Inherit working directory true, and we have some behavior stuff, and there's some good stuff in here. Specifically, I really like this copy on select. So I'm not sure if it's going to work in Nano. Yep. So you can see copied to clipboard just by highlighting. So you don't have to copy Control-Shift-C, whatever your terminal happens to use. But you can see I can just easily copy things to my actual clipboard, which I find myself doing quite a bit. Shell integration, no cursor. So that's the setting that should technically be making the other cursor work, but I'll figure it out. And then right here, you have key bindings. So you can see I added a Control Shift Enter equals new split right. So Control Shift Enter, new split right. If I do something like Control D, you can see that's going to close out. Alternatively, if I just typed in exit, it would also close that out as well. And I added Control Shift R instead of using Control Shift comma, which is the default. Where'd it go? I was hitting hotkeys. I think I closed it out. But really, that's the configuration. I'll go ahead and link again to kind of my base configuration as well as the documentation. But one thing that I want to talk about is let's go ahead and SSH into a local server that I have. And this is one of the kind of main issues that I had or have with it is it needs like custom software to be able to run properly. So if I'm in here, I'm in a server that doesn't have the Ghostty terminal and I do something like nano, you could see unable to initialize the terminal type. And same if I try to like clear it out, just doesn't know what's going on. So to actually fix this, what we're going to want to do is actually exit out of there and go to our instance right here. This is just on our local desktop, and we're going to want to drop in this right here. So we're going to give that a copy. What this is going to do is install Ghosty's Terminfo entry remotely. So if I minimize this and for SSH your server, what you're going to want to do is just put in the just normal username at the IP address, hit enter, type in that password, and there we go. So now if we try to SSH into this and then run something like nano, you can see now that it's working. And then of course, if I'm able to actually get out of here, we can clear our terminal, it all works. So there's just a little tiny bit of legwork to do to get all the features to work as they should. And in this guide here, I have a bunch of other information and things that you might want to check out. And if you're interested in learning about shells, that's another thing that I'm going to start getting into right now. This is just default, but on my Mac machine, I'm using Oh My ZSH, which has been working phenomenally. So if you want to see a video on that, do let me know. If you want to see a video now, I got some good ones. First, you can go check out the Superfiles video, which goes over that terminal or TUI file manager, which is fantastic. Or if you want to see an older video where I list off some tools that are definitely worth checking out, you can see that right here as well. And with all that, I do hope you have an absolutely beautiful day and goodbye.